What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the CLAG Brewing Company, and they're out of Sandusky, Ohio, and this is their fat beer in a little can. Yeah, I had to sing the name of this beer, which we'll talk about momentarily. So, this is a double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, and this can is approximately 1 month old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Chris, for this beer. So huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he sent my way, and he sent me an entire box full of beers from CLAG, along with a hat from Dancing Gnome. And all of the CLAG beers were from their 5th anniversary slash block party that they, I believe, did on August 9th. And 3 of those beers were inspired by, in my opinion, the iconic comedy movie Tommy Boy, which stars Chris Farley. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. Chris Farley is one of my favorite comedians of all time. And when I saw all 3 in the box, I was absolutely stoked. So this one, as you can see, I have the Callahan Auto Parts shirt on. So this is from Tommy Boy. So Chris Farley plays Tommy Boy, Tommy Callahan, and Richard is his friend, which is played by David Spade. The movie is fantastic. So I have seen that movie too many times to count. A lot of times, right? So when I saw that they released these beers and they're paying homage to Tommy Boy, I was stoked. Now, the reason they're paying homage to Tommy Boy is it takes place, the movie, well, some of the movie anyway, because a lot of the time they're on the road and whatnot, but Callahan Auto in the movie is in Sandusky, Ohio. CLAG in Sandusky, Ohio. So makes perfect sense. This is the owner of CLAG, and he's Tommy Boy. He's Farley. He's playing the Farley role here. So one of the most iconic parts or iconic memories of the movie, in my opinion, is when Tommy puts on Richard's coat, which is like 3 times too small for him, and starts singing "Fat Guy in a Little Coat." So that's what this is paying homage to. This is what it's inspired by, and I'm here for it. So I'm going to review all 3 of the Tommy Boy beers here by myself. A couple of the others I'm going to share when I go to Albany, New York recently. You'll see this after I go to Albany, New York, meeting up with some beer tubers. We're going to share some beers. But I wanted to review this one first. Now, another reason I'm reviewing this one first is, and I don't put any stock into Untapped ratings because you guys know if you're on Untapped, like certain styles always get low ratings, other styles always get higher ratings, blah, blah, blah. But as far as all the beers that Chris sent my way, this is actually the lowest rated of the bunch, 424. Absolutely fantastic score, but it is the lowest of the bunch. It's not the reason I'm reviewing it first. I'm reviewing it first because this one, just the whole artwork and the name and everything, and the fact that this is the only beer that isn't a collaboration between all 6 is another reason I'm reviewing it. But I wanted to review it first, and if this is the lowest rated beer, I figured, hey, starting with it makes perfect sense as well. So this one is brewed with Citra, Idaho 7, and Azacca Cryo, and that's all I know about it. Sorry for the long intro, but I just want to talk. I love Tommy Boy and I love Farley. So getting a beer like this, I'm just stoked for it. So, oh, is that an overfill? Could be. It could definitely be an overfill, but shit, that went everywhere. Let me see if I can wipe this down over here. All right. Ooh, it smells fantastic. Now, again, all of these, by the time I review them, are at least a month old. They're all canned on 8-1. So, yeah, this is an overfill. I'm going to pour this probably very poorly. We'll do something like this. I'm going to try to get a decent head out of this if I can. Something like that. Like that. Yeah, that looks beautiful. So I was first introduced to CLAG as far as like them being on my radar from another very good friend of mine, a viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka No Jinx. He's been going to their releases for a couple years now. He's loving their beer. What does that look like? Well, that looks like what a lot of people like to refer to as chicken gravy, chicken stock, turkey gravy, turkey stock. A lot of times I'll say hop custard. Shout out to Christopher. Not the Chris that sent me this, but Christopher from the UK. And then some people say like Joe over Joe's Arcade hop cum. It looks to me, and Joe said this before, like you took orange juice and you poured some milk into it. That's what it kind of looks like. It has that hazy, murky, turbid, just like kind of like, to me, honestly, this one looks more like turkey or chicken stock. That's what it looks like. Had about 2 fingers or a finger and a half of a super creamy off-white colored head, dissipating a little bit, but not too bad. I feel like it's trying to look at the face of the owner here on the label as opposed to the beer. But that looks beautiful, murky, turbid. You can't see through it. Let's get a nose. So to me, and listen, I have not had a CLAG beer. This is my first ever CLAG. This is my first ever experience with CLAG. It smells to me like super fresh. This would have some hop burn. That's the nose. It has that hop saturation that a lot of the top tier smaller breweries have, from your, Fidens to Troon to Root and Branch, Test Brewery. It has more of like a confectionery sweetness too, a little bit of vanilla. But man, there's a shit ton of pineapple, stone fruits galore, peach and mango. Like a honeydew melon rind, so not like super sweet, like overripened honeydew, but like the closer to the rind, like the white part. A little bit of lychee, candied grapefruit, and then it has this nice dank, slightly herbaceous kind of tone to it. It's making my mouth water. So smelling this gives me, again, upper echelon, smaller, local, regional, hype breweries that I don't know how many pounds of hop per barrel they're putting in, but they're hopping the piss out of this. And that's how you can, like, just smelling it, it's just very reminiscent of a lot of those breweries. RAR over the past like 6 to 8 months. It smells really good. So thank you very much, Chris. First beer from CLAG. It's a Tommy Boy inspired beer, and I am fucking stoked. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Fucking delicious. Like, I knew that. Listen, CLAG gets hyped probably for good reason. They probably make fucking fantastic hazy IPAs, double IPAs, triple IPAs, right? But when you go into a brewery you haven't had yet before, despite the hype, let's just take the hype out of here and you just taste and smell it. There's been a couple breweries where I'm like, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. This, off the first sip, even though this is the lowest rated of the ones that Chris sent me, it's fucking good. It really is. One thing I notice, at least for hazies, when, like, the first time I had a Fidens beer, first time I had a Treehouse beer, first time I had Root and Branch, Test, Brew Host, I always look for the body and mouthfeel to see if they have kind of perfected or come close to perfecting the body and mouthfeel. And after this first beer, I would say that, did I say it was 8%? Yeah, this is 8%. I don't know if I mentioned that. I started getting into like the beginning and singing and shit. It's 8%, no IBUs listed. But anyway, the body mouthfeel is the first thing I look for with a new hyped hazy brewery. And off this first beer, yeah, they're doing it right. Body's like lower side of full, medium full, 8%. It's definitely viscous. It's heavy in the mouth, but not overdone. It definitely just has that luscious kind of body. The mouthfeel is pillowy. Like it's fluffy. It has a softer than anticipated carbonation, very smooth, very creamy, just kind of glides down the palate, but it's like drinking a cloud. I haven't said that in a long time, but yeah, kind of like drinking a cloud. The taste is wild because I'm getting no alcohol whatsoever, no warming my chest, nothing on the palate, 8%, that's wild. But it's front to back a very hop saturated palate. I'm getting gobs of sweet, overripened pineapple. There's a little bit of vanilla probably coming from the yeast itself, I would imagine. There's something going on, but there's a little bit like a pineapple creamsicle thing happening here. There's a lot of stone fruits from front to back. I'm getting peach, mango, even a little papaya in this one. Underlying citrus, a lot of candied grapefruit and orange. And then on the finish, I get a little bit of that honeydew melon, like white kind of rind. Like it's like an underripened honeydew melon or closer to the rind. Has a little bit of like a bitterness. And then it has a big and absolutely huge dank herbaceous finish. More herbaceous than dank. There's a nice firm dankness on the finish, but man, is it herbaceous. It's almost giving me like a little bit of a basil or thyme. It definitely has a little bit of like, almost like fresh cut grass to some degree. What I like about this one, is it sweet? It definitely is up front. It has a mild to moderate bitterness smack dab in the middle, but man, this is very dry. I wouldn't say it's bone dry, but it's approaching. It's firmly dry, almost approaching bone dry. It really balances out all that sweet goodness at the forefront. Like, I mean, basically it's like sweet fruit from the first maybe, 2/3 to 3/4 of the palate, but on the finish, it really does balance out that dryness. Still leans a little bit sweet, maybe 55-45, 60-40 sweetness of dryness, but that dryness is welcomed, and dare I say, the hero of the beer. Shout out to Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews, because without that dryness, this would be cloying to me. It would be too sweet, too much, and a beer that I definitely would want to share as opposed to take to the dome piece by myself. Very easy to drink. Like, there is no hop burn. Well, I take back. There's a little bit of hop burn on the back of the palate. A little bit, just a touch. If there's anything that I'm noticing on the actual palate itself, it's a little bit of that hop burn, like a very mild hop burn on the finish. So anybody out there, Jeff, Chris, anybody else who had this uber fresh, did you get hop burn up front? You know, a week or two old. Could you tell that, like, with the 2, 3, 4 weeks, this would be drinking well? Shout out to Rating on Your Parade, who says, like, you know, he was like, oh, you got to drink this right away as soon as you get it and whatnot. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. But for me, this is right in the wheelhouse where I like my hazies. They are, you know, a little bit of hop burn, but not too much. And if I would have drank this 2 weeks ago, I'd probably be complaining about the hop burn. And you guys would be like, shut the fuck up about the hop burn. And I'm like, I can't because it's burning my throat, burning my chest. Is this the best Hazy Double IPA I've ever had? It is not. But for my first introduction to CLAG, this is fucking tasty. And I am definitely 100% saving this can to go behind me for next year on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans. I'm probably going to save at least 2 of them, maybe all 3 of the Tommy Boy cans, because not only do I like the black cans that they use, but then the wrap and everything, it's fucking awesome. Their logo's awesome. I'll have to make it out to CLAG at some point for sure. So, fat beer in a little can. I'm going to go low 4.5. I'm going to go 4.4 out of 5. This is tasty and really good and highly enjoyable, and a beer that I could recommend to anybody in Sandusky who can get your hands on CLAG. Definitely do so, obviously, outside of this beer. But like, if you can get any of the Tommy Boy beers, by the time I post this, they're probably all sold out of them. But if they do this again next year, maybe I'll try to make it down there next year when they do their anniversary. I think that might be the play. Price point availability, I don't know, because Chris sent them my way. I tried to look online. I think they had like 1 or 2 left of the ones he sent me. That Squid for Show was like $24 a 4-pack. And they may have had one other beer, but I'd imagine somewhere between $20 to $24 a 4-pack. It's kind of going right with these new school hype breweries that are very small. Usually somewhere around, $5 to $6 a can. That's typically for a Hazy Double IPA triple, usually in like $25, $26 realm. So is it pricey? Sure. But for something I gave a 4.4 and the whole backstory behind it, like, I don't give a shit. So a 4.4 out of 5 is a pretty goddamn good score. Love the label art. So for $5 to $6 a can all day, every day. And availability, it's CLAG. I think they get slight distribution in Ohio, very slight. But a lot of their stuff is brewery only or mostly at the brewery. But I think drips and drabs do get outside of Sandusky into other places in Ohio. Like I said, I'd like to make it down there at some point and check them out. I think at some point in the cards, I want to make a Cleveland trip out to Sandusky and back, maybe even to Columbus. I want to hit up Masthead in Cleveland. I've been wanting to go there for a while. Obviously, CLAG, Jackie O's in Columbus for sure, maybe even Dank House. There's a lot of breweries in Ohio that are kicking ass, and CLAG is one of them, and this is my first introduction. And do they live up to the hype after the first beer? Yeah, I would say so. If you're somebody who seeks out the hyped, new age, highly talked about, hop-saturated, hazy beers of all sorts, then CLAG's in your wheelhouse if you're in Ohio. It is what it is. So huge thanks to Chris for this one. Can't wait to get into the other 5. And if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.